Every day, green plants perform an extraordinary process that quietly sustains life on Earth. With nothing more than sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, they perform the glucose need to their growth, while releasing the oxygen that almost every living organism depends on. This remarkable process is known as photosynthesis. But have you ever wondered what really happens inside a leaf to make this possible? How is sunlight transformed into chemical energy? And how is carbon dioxide converted into glucose? To answer these questions, we will explore the two fundamental stages of photosynthesis, the light-dependent reaction and the light-independent reaction, also known as the Kelvin cycle.
Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants convert light energy into chemical energy using sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. During this process, carbon dioxide and water are transformed into glucose, which serve as a plant source of food. This initial process occurs in chloroplast and consists of two main stages: the light-dependent cycle, which captures light energy to produce ATP and NADPH, and the light-independent cycle, Kelvin cycle, which use this energy-rich molecule to synthesize glucose. The first stage of photosynthesis is the light-dependent reaction, which takes place in the thylakoid membrane of the chloroplast. As the name suggests, this reaction requires sunlight to occur. Its main function is to convert light energy into chemical energy in the form of ATP and NADPH, which will later be used in Kelvin cycle. The process began when chloroplasts in photosynthesis 2 absorb light energy, exciting electrons to the higher energy level. These light electrons are replaced through photolysis, where water molecules are split into electrons, hydrogens, ions, and oxygen. The oxygen is then released into the atmosphere as a byproduct. Next, the excited electron moves through the electron transport chains. The energy released during this process is used to produce ATP through ATP synthase. The electrons then reach photosynthesis 1, where they absorb light energy once again before combining with NADP plus and hydrogen ion to form NADPH. In summary, the light-dependent reaction produces ATP and NADPH and oxygen. ATP and NADPH are transferred to the light-independent reaction, where they provide the energy required to produce glucose, while oxygen is released as a byproduct. Next, we move to the second stage of photosynthesis, known as the light-independent reaction, or the Kelvin cycle. This reaction takes place in stroma of the chloroplast and does not require light directly. However, it depends on ATP and NADPH produced during the light-dependent reaction to synthesize glucose. The Kelvin cycle consists of three main stages. The first stage is carbon fixation, where 3 molecules of carbon dioxide combine with 3 molecules of RUBP. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme rubisco, producing 6 molecules of 3-phosphoglycerate, or 3-PGA. The second stage is reduction. Here, ATP and NADPH provide the energy and reducing power to convert 3-PGA into G3P. One G3P molecule leaves the cycle and it used to synthesize glucose. Finally, in regeneration stage, the remaining 3 G3P molecule use ATP to regenerate RUBP, allowing the Kelvin cycle to continue. In summary, the Kelvin cycle uses carbon dioxide, ATP, and NADPH to produce glucose, completing the process of photosynthesis. In conclusion, photosynthesis depends on the coordinate function of the light-dependent cycle and the light-independent cycle to convert light energy into chemical energy. The light-dependent reaction produces ATP and NADPH, which are utilized in the Calvin cycle to synthesize glucose from carbon dioxide. Together, these two stages enable plants to produce their own food, support healthy growth, and sustain life on Earth by supplying oxygen and energy to living organisms.